What's up, everybody? Starting now, a little late. We're supposed to be on Sunday. It's okay. It's okay. Got some new music. This is AI music that YouTube allows me to use. Not my first choice, but it's not so bad. They keep adding options every day. So I guess this is a brand new future, brand new feature. So I've got the chat here. I'll pop it in a little bit. Hope everybody's doing all right. Got some I would say iconic NFT PFPs from the Cosmos ecosystem. Got the Kuji shrimp and Anons. I believe that's Anons Series 2, which is one that I have. So hope you guys are doing all right. Would appreciate it if you guys would share this. If you're watching this on the replay on YouTube, just skip the first, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes of a live stream is always really weird. Especially what you're going to watch is basically me practicing live streaming live while you get to take it all in. And at the same time, I'm going to talk about crypto news that's happened in the last week. My name is Joe, aka Cosmos Joe, Cosmos DeFi on Twitter. Yeah, I'm trying to get the people going. I thought that music was a little better than that, like slow, I would call it like shallow hip hop. Like there wasn't enough noise going on for it to be real hip hop, but it was the only hip hop option here on my restream, you know, presets here. I want real music, but you're not allowed to put real music on YouTube. You cannot put real music on YouTube. I was thinking, what would I come into? I mean, I don't know. I was thinking maybe like the Top Gun theme song would be pretty sick, right? One of those songs from that soundtrack would be pretty sick. If I can come into that, that would be good. Or maybe one of the one of, one of the songs that I sing my kid as I try to get her to sleep. I'm a big lately I'm in my old age, I listen to a lot of country music. I was a huge classic rock guy forever, but I also listened to a lot of like 90s hip hop when I was a kid, and been to some hip hop shows, been to some metal shows, seen Pantera, Metallica, Black Sabbath, and all that. But I'm like a country guy now. That's what I sing to my kid. It puts her right to sleep. So Five on it. Nice to see you. People don't know this, but Five on it is my secret weapon. He's taught me how to use pretty much all technology that I need to figure this YouTube thing out. But yeah, good morning. Not really good morning. This was supposed to be in the morning yesterday. I was so sick this weekend, so I might look a little skinny. I didn't eat this weekend, lost a little weight. I was going to use it as an excuse to start like keto diet or something. Like, oh, I just fasted for 2 days. Might as well try keto again. But no, Monday night might be better. We'll see. Sunday morning's better for me. Monday night's probably better for most people. So this is the Monday night stream, Monday Night Raw. And it's the crypto news for last week. Little educational twist where I can fit it in. And like I said, I'm Cosmos Joe. Hopefully you skip the first 5 minutes. If you watch this on the replay, the first 5 minutes of a live stream is usually just terrible production. And I want to welcome the new people. Thanks to everybody who's been with me the last couple of times. I believe this is my 5th live stream. It says week 5 on my clipboard here. It doesn't seem like the 5th live stream. It seems like the 4th or the 3rd, but I'm going to go with it. We're going to talk a lot about, obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum always in the news. Another mega inscription sale happened last week. People are not only sleeping on Ordinal's protocol, people are actively fighting it. So that's going to be ongoing, man. I don't see how inscriptions is bad for Bitcoin at all. Main headline: celebrities are getting sued. There's a twist to that as I did some research. We've got Ethereum layer 2 monster airdrops coming, and of course Cosmos. We've always got Cosmos news. Nothing with governance that I see that's terribly interesting. Maybe I'm wrong, but we had a big fundraise, huge fundraise in the Cosmos ecosystem. Pretty big, I would say, considering the market's still not there yet. We're not back yet. I'll talk about my 10K portfolio challenge, calling all challengers. By the way, I put it together a couple days ago. I think I'm down already. I don't know. I got to check it. We'll check it together. I challenged Reese I challenged Scott from Dark Side of the Podcast, and I challenged somebody else. Who was it? I don't know, but not Cito. Cito started his 10K portfolio challenge like the last day of the bull market, got absolutely slaughtered. He probably shouldn't even talk about it anymore because it was just not even fair. He pumped a bunch of money back to it, and he's only down 60%. So my regular portfolio is not even down 60%. My regular portfolio is down from highs like 40%, something like that. I was heavy in Bitcoin, and my poop coins have done really well. So I picked up a lot of good small cap coins that I feel comfortable holding just because I have so much Bitcoin and ETH. So I could show you that. And I dropped a lot of dead weight out of my portfolio, and mainly that was Osmo, Juno, stars in that order. Almost all my stars I converted into NFTs, and the Osmo and Juno I just sold for whatever. I think I got some used paper bags and like an old shoe from my Osmo and Juno tokens, and then I traded those for a bunch of small cap coins that are doing really well, and they're super volatile, and I want volatility in my portfolio. I don't think everybody should want volatility in their portfolio, but I'm in a interesting situation with investing. But anyway, let's let's get it going here. Let's get it going. We'll start with we'll start with just performance. I don't love talking about prices, but we'll talk about prices for a minute. Top 5 tokens of the last 7 days. BitTorrent, all right. Bonk, Jesus, are we at that point in the market yet? But yeah, BitTorrent did a 3x, Bonk did a 2x. Avalanche is just doing awesome. I guess they made a lot of strategic partnerships over the last year and a half. Seems to be paying off. I think big layer one DeFi ecosystems are going to need big partnerships. What I noticed about Celestia is I feel like they have them in their validator set. If you go through their validator, very interesting names there that you won't see anywhere else in the cosmos. Helium, I'm not familiar with it, but it's number 85 on CoinGecko, up 66%. And then Injective, my God. Injective can do absolutely nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. I finally looked at Injective yesterday because I'm making a Celestia video, and I'm just looking for places to deploy the TIA token other than staking. Injective looks promising. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but I'll cover that in my video. And these are the movers. Let's look at the losers for the week. Big surprise here. Luna Classic, Stacks. Stacks is one of the big ones in my portfolio that I just added a couple months ago. But I'm still up on Stacks. The day that I bought Stacks was like a local bottom. It was like 66 cents or something like that. And I just bought whatever with whatever cash I had. It went up over $1. And I was like, oh, look how smart I am. And now it's down 22%. So I'm happy with my Stacks entry. I'm going to add on probably. Maybe I'll sell some NFTs and free up some money, put it back into Stacks. But I feel like Stacks for me is a leveraged bet on Bitcoin. So there's that. Conflux. I don't think anything with con in the name is going to do well this cycle. That's just me. IOTA. IOTA was probably my biggest loser of all time. I bought IOTA at like $4 last 2 bull markets ago. And then Caspa. I kind of want to get into Caspa. It's a different kind of proof of work. I am pretty bullish on proof of work. Once Ethereum went to proof of stake, I was like, damn, I should really replace that with a different proof of work token, and I really never did. So I should have picked up on Caspa like a year ago. Did not. And then there's Thorchain, number 6. Thorchain and Caspa have had huge run-ups. So is Stacks. I think this is a proportional pullback. I don't think this is an alarming week, whatever. I think this is all right for crypto. I mean, it was basically up only for basically since NFT Nashville. Since NFT Nashville, the crypto market has been up only. Even the Luna tokens have been up only. I feel like we set something off that day. It was just like the right vibe, the right people. Boom, market just takes off. This is a normal pullback. I met the founder of Thorchain on Thursday and talked to him for like a minute. And I told him, hey, I'm I was always aware of Thorchain, but I never had a reason to use it because I have centralized exchange access and I do atomic swaps through Exodus or Atomic Wallet. Where can I find out more about Thorchain? I'm not really a technical person, but I like to learn about the stuff, and I would love to have you on my YouTube. And he goes, yeah, no problem. I'll come on your YouTube. And I said, well, where can I start doing my research? This is exactly what he said. This is a lesson for devs. He didn't say go to the Discord. He didn't say read the white paper. He said do a swap, just see how it is. I was like, oh, so you want me to use the thing and then think about how I liked it? It seems like it makes sense. One of the reasons why it's so hard to cover Cosmos ecosystem is there's not much to use. Almost all the big stuff being built is infrastructure. How do you use it? You need apps, right? So it takes someone like me maybe weeks to research something like Celestia, right? Celestia, I started researching months ago. I just gave up. I'm like this is so abstract. I can't get my hands on anything. So yeah, founder of Thorchain, good guy. And obviously he's building not only infrastructure, right? This is massive infrastructure connecting all these ecosystems somehow, but it is it's an app. It's an app that everyone probably could use at some point. So there's my price stuff. None of this is financial advice. We're just looking at news developments over the last week. I'm not a financial advisor. I suck at giving financial advice. Every time I say I should buy more of a token, it goes down. Every time I buy a token, it goes down. When I even think about selling, the price just goes up another like 15, 20%. So do not take this as financial advice. This is interesting news. I have not vetted these news sources. It's just headlines that I like. I read through it. Cool. Maybe people want to know about this and maybe people have something to add. That's where the chat comes in. So if I miss something, if you have something to add, put it in the chat. We'll engage with the chat at some point. And yeah, let's get to the first one. Cardano. Some people might know this. Cardano's like number 3 or 4. I think it's 4 in my portfolio. I hold ADA. I believe they have a massive undervalued community. They have super low inflation. I think that the token will pump again. So I hold it. Big bag holder with ADA. So Cardano founder, Charles Hoskinson. I mean, the people in the Cardano community, they worship him. That's one of the reasons why I think the token will pump again. I don't think it will exceed all-time highs. I do not think it will be over $3. I do not. I think between $1.50, $2, totally fair. That's like in the 50 to 70 billion dollar market cap range. Listen, it could go higher, proportional to the market. I don't think it will outperform, DeFi ecosystems like Kujira, Celestia. I don't think it will. But long story short, a lot of people find him toxic. I think he's just another like egotistical billionaire founder who just can't stop talking and loves attention. A lot of founders should probably be anonymous, but they're not. They want to be all over the place. And he claims Bitcoin's not decentralized. Okay. A guy who owns a significant percent of his own token says Bitcoin is not decentralized. Then he goes on to say Bitcoin, the industry does not need Bitcoin. Does not need Bitcoin. So I guess he feels Bitcoin is not a catalyst for crypto adoption at all. And he's referring to the SEC kind of breezing over Bitcoin and looking at the other tokens when it comes to declaring them securities, fines, lawsuits, and all that. And I think this is the opinion part of the news. Maybe they're going after all of those other tokens because there's like a foundation with a figurehead behind it, right? Like what are they going to do with Bitcoin? He claims they can go after some mining pools and, alter the network or shut down the network. Fine. But you could do that with proof of stake quite easily, right? I mean, there's only a couple of a couple of choke points in proof of stake where a lot of these validators are, hosting and all that. So anyway, he says if you run the Howey test with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano, the results would be exactly the same. The Howey test, people bring up the Howey test all the time. I have it right here. Here's the educational part of the stream. So Howey test is basically a pretty straightforward test to determine if something is a security or if it's not a security. If it's determined to be a security, it has to be registered with the SEC to be sold, traded, whatever, right? And basically, the Howey test has 4 points. You have to check all 4 boxes to be a security. Number 1 has to be an investment of money. That's criteria number 1. Criteria number 2, there is an expectation of profits from the investment. Okay. The investment of money is in a common enterprise. That's gray area, right? Common enterprise. We almost don't even use that language anymore. This is an old test. It's like 80 years old, something like that. And then any profit comes from the efforts of a promoter or a third party. This is where NFTs are going to have a lot of trouble because there's always someone promoting it, right? Here's our roadmap. Here's our whitelist. Here's what you get. Here's the promote, whatever. I would say not only NFTs, any project tokens that's not like a straight up governance token is probably going to have trouble if the Howey test is applied in a fair way. But based on the way the United States categorized, based on the way they categorized Terra, right, with Do Kwon and Luna, they have a very loose interpretation. At least this administration has a very loose interpretation of the Howey test, and they could probably capture all of crypto just about, but then they have to go after them one by one, right? If they're going to have this broad interpretation, shooting from the hip, I would say most layer 1 tokens are probably not securities, but the project tokens would probably, based on the Howey tests, in a fair way, be deemed securities. I see crypto chemistry down there. What's up, brother? I just at some point today, I delegated some Kuji tokens to your validator. Just want you to know that. I'm gonna read your article later as well when we talk about fundraising. So yeah, Howey test. There's a lot of room for interpretation. The way that I feel is as governments, overreach, they're going to take very, very loose interpretations of their own laws. And guys like this who are definitely, I would categorize him as borderline revolutionary, anarchist, libertarian type. Like he was saying, throw the whole government out the window and start from scratch. Um, you know, lives in the middle of nowhere in what resembles a bomb shelter. So, and happens to have like, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency. And, as the story goes, he gave away hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Ethereum when he quit Ethereum. Because don't forget, he was a co-founder of Ethereum. Like he was like a billionaire twice, right? So he gave away to his secretary thousands of ETH. And in the peak of the last bull market, in the peak of the last bull market, it was worth like a couple $100 million. That could have been his. He doesn't need Cardano, but he's the man. He's the man that, you know, he's the promoter, right? He's the common enterprise of Cardano complaining about the Howey test. So there you go. Cardano people don't like my content at all, but I have skin in the game. Most people that complain to me are either massive bag holders that got in way too deep with Cardano, or you probably don't have any. You're just complaining because you like one NFT project on Cardano. So Cardano has some cool NFTs. Their DeFi is horrible. I don't even want to say. I'll get banned from YouTube if I say what I want to say right now. Hey, Stephen Douglas, man, good to see you. Glad to see you made it. I think I told you the stream was on Sunday, so it's like 36 hours later. Sorry about that. But let's get to Bitcoin. Bitcoin news to me is the most important because I feel like Bitcoin is driving all the price action, even though Charles Hoskinson says we don't need Bitcoin. It's driving the price action of the crypto market, and so is the ETF chaos surrounding it. So here we go. Jack Dorsey, he wants to help decentralize Bitcoin mining with this new investment. It's and the company is Ocean. They raised $6 million. Jack Dorsey led the funding round, and Ocean is a mining pool on Bitcoin. And this fundraiser is going to help Bitcoin miners get the rewards directly. It's more transparent. It distributes the network fees and revenues in a more fair way. Sounds good. I don't know everything about Bitcoin mining, but what it sounds like is the current system. If you're part of a mining pool, the block rewards, which is inflation plus fees, maybe something else that I'm not factoring in, it it goes to the pool. There's an intermediary, and then it's distributed to the individuals. Kind of how proof of stake works, right? Isn't that, maybe someone in the chat can tell me, at least in Cosmos, right? The rewards go to the validator and then um, to the stakers, or is it going at the same time in a single transaction? Don't know, but at a glance, this sounds good. The the block rewards with Bitcoin are interesting because the halvening is set to happen in about 4.5 months, the week of my birthday, which is April 12th. I know you don't care, but it is. And the halvening right now, it's 6.25 Bitcoin per block gets distributed to the network, plus whatever fees are collected. That's going to go down to 3.125. So halvening, half of the block rewards are eliminated. It's a every 4 years inflation deflation happens, I guess you could say. And eventually the network is going to need to generate fees to be self-sufficient. Right now, the only way that looks like that's going to happen is if the Bitcoiners embrace inscriptions. So something to think about. Even if you hate inscriptions, they do help the network become more secure and more sustainable long term, because they can replace the dependence on inflation for the miners anyway. So that's my Bitcoin stuff. Of course, we've got some ETF news. And by the way, all these articles, all these links, if you don't want to listen to me read it off a clipboard from too far away to where I can't even see what I wrote, definitely check the description. I put all the links down there, all of them. I'm not time stamping it. Like, who has time for that? But you could find all the links down there. Some of them are just tweets like this one, right? The Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation has just listed Fidelity's ticker for the Bitcoin ETF, FBTC. I feel like that's an unfortunate, like when Bitcoin crashes again in the next bear market, that's going to be an unfortunate ticker symbol, right? Like FBTC when it goes back down to, whatever, 19,000 or 16,000, whatever it was. But, apparently Grayscale, I didn't follow the Grayscale SEC case. Whenever I see these huge lawsuits, I just always assume that the big banks and the institutions are using just using their friends in the government to run interference to slow down retail from piling into the coins before the institutions get there. So I just always assume the government's going to give in or lose. So I never really paid attention to it. But in the Grayscale SEC case, there was a court order that urged the approval of these ETFs in early January. Early January. So, and if you scroll down, I think it says like January 5th or something like that. Yeah, the 5th to the 10th. That's really, really, really soon. Really soon. I mean, it's right after Christmas. It's gonna be a blink, and we're gonna wake up one day. Here's the news. Might be a sell the news, might be a pump. Don't know, don't care. I'm already like almost all in with what I've got in my crypto. I was talking to IBC Gang today. I was talking to IBC Gang, and I said, "Hey, man, You think I should have more than 5% stable coins right now? And without saying yes, he basically said that 5% stable coins is like really not enough. So I feel bad, but that's just how it is. And I'm probably going to deploy more this week. Ah. By the way, I have the best drink right here. This is diet ginger ale with maraschino cherry juice. It's basically a Shirley Temple for people that only have 5% stable coins, right? So let's go to the next let's go to the next thing. Oh, my favorite teacher. I'm a teacher. I have nothing in common with this lady. I also have nothing in common with people who could block ads on their live streams. So Elizabeth Warren, she just wants crypto to be snuffed out completely. She loves, fiat currency. She thinks the banks just have it all figured out. We all love Elizabeth Warren. She was a Harvard professor, Harvard law professor. She's like the most cringe politician that we have, probably. She's just, oh my God, it's so hard to listen to her. But I really think she believes what she's saying, so it's hard to hate. It's hard to hate. And what she's calling for is the Bank Secrecy Act to be updated. And of course, when she says updated, expand it. And she says crypto is a threat. Um, she claims that North Korea raises tons of money with crypto. North Korea has no food, no electricity, no transportation, no infrastructure, but somehow they raise all these billions of dollars with crypto. I used to live in South Korea, and I can tell you right now, North Korea turns their electricity off at night because they don't have the energy. Even though they're loaded with coal in that country, their infrastructure is so bad, their electric grid is terrible. They have like skyscrapers that are empty just for the photo shots where and like the drones flying around because oh look, they built a city there. There's no one there. People eat rats, they eat bugs. You're not allowed to have dogs there. It's just, I don't think North Korea is funding their country with hacking crypto protocols, but she's asking Congress to crack down because this is money laundering. I don't know how North Korea stealing money from a protocol that was not launched in North Korea is money laundering. It's not money laundering, I don't think. Money laundering to me is more of an intentional act of trying to hide money. And she claims crypto is like this article is like it's like she just woke up and found out about crypto, and then in the next breath just found out about North Korea and fentanyl. But this makes her look like such a teacher with those outdated glasses and haircut. I work with people like that, and yeah, she just wants crypto snuffed out. And terrorists are raising all this money in the Middle East. Apparently, there's no evidence of this. There's no evidence of this, and maybe she doesn't remember the United States just giving the Middle East a whole bunch of money that may have been used in some way, shape, or form to fund things that we don't like. I don't know. Hey, we got Mr. Edwards here. Oh no, not Liz. Are you from Massachusetts, sir? I don't think you are. You're not from Massachusetts. But yeah, she's a senator in Massachusetts. Good for them. You know, she's she's one of us, teacher. All right. Here's the part where my window doesn't fit, and I'm gonna have to do this live on the live stream. Let's see if I can get the G of Google to show up without making it too small. The answer is no. So let's go to it. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's good enough, right? That's good enough. So AI. Last week we talked about AI for like a half an hour. We talked about AI tokens. We talked about AI being actually used to manage DAOs and multi-sig wallets, which was super interesting. Those links are in the description from the last video. But here's one about Google. And the reason why I'm talking about this on a crypto stream, you'll find out. So they have a new product. It's called Gemini. They say it's a cutting edge AI model and is capable of understanding, get this, not only understanding, but combining various types of information. So it's text, audio, image, video, and code. Chat GPT, GPT-4 can do this, right? Can do this. But this outperformed GPT-4 and also surpassed human experts in certain tests. So they rolled out 3 versions, and I guess, there are going to be a handful of companies in this AI race. And as humans, we're not going to need to really know anything, which is fine. Like, you don't have to know anything anymore. I used to memorize like sports stats. And then when you would be with your friends, you'd be able to argue like who was the best at this, which team did this, who has the record in this. And you would argue for hours and hours and hours. And now I have like nothing in common with my friends because we just look it up and we don't even talk to each other. We just look it up and we're like, oh, did you know Bobby Bonilla is still getting paid by the Mets? Yeah, Bobby Bonilla Day is every July 1st until 2032. We used to argue about that, that kind of thing. Or what we would do is we would just blurt out movie quotes from like 80s and 90s movies like My Cousin Vinny and Ghostbusters and all that, Adam Sandler movies. Now you just watch the clips on your phone. You don't even need to talk to your friends. But with AI, it'll just probably know what you're thinking, and you won't even need your phone anymore. Like, it'll just pop up on the closest screen to you. But long story short, what's interesting about this is you don't need to know anything, but maybe this could onboard people into coding like way faster. Like someone like me, I have base knowledge of coding, right? I took a Python class when I was in college. I took C, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, I think. It was one course. It wasn't like separate courses. And it's very tedious work. After like a couple of projects, you kind of get the idea. You just don't have the experience to do it quickly or to think several steps ahead to code, right? You do everything, as the whatever guide you're using lays it out. But with this AI, I mean, maybe it could onboard someone like me to go from beginner to intermediate in weeks rather than months or years. I don't know. And we talked about this last time. There are so many AI tokens right now. I don't know which ones are legitimate and which ones just have AI in the name. My advice to a struggling protocol: we're entering a bull market. Think of the AI narrative as a narrative. I don't think it's going to make a tremendous impact in crypto in the next 12 months. Tangible. Maybe a few protocols will leverage it. I don't know. But if you're a struggling protocol, and if I've been in your Telegram to give you this advice, I think you should take it. Just put AI somewhere on your website. Blah, 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 smart contract, DeFi, AI. Just put it on your website. There's no shame in it. There really isn't. Last bull market, everyone put metaverse. Just metaverse this, metaverse that. Just AI, just put AI on everything. Why isn't my token pumping? You know what? Because you don't have AI on your website, on your landing page, in your Twitter bio. I'm gonna put AI in my Twitter bio. I bet you I get. Maybe I'll put it in my YouTube handle. Cosmos Joe AI generated content. I mean, I use AI sometimes for my thumbnails, so I'm not lying. Man, I look over here like I have a producer. Like when are we going to commercial? So I can go to the bathroom, but I don't have one. Just I don't know why I look over there. Sometimes I look up there when I lose my place. But anyway, CryptoChem says, bingo, the non-coding coders will proliferate. How much time, you're a tech guy, you're in blockchain, you're in Web3, you're also in content, right? How long would it take someone with just basic, super basic coding? Let's say I have 15 hours a week. Could I get to writing contracts in a couple of months? I think that would be the real question I have. I think a lot of people watching this, maybe you're like me. Like I was a computer science major in college, and then I switched it away. I don't know why I did that, but I've taken, like I said, since then I've taken a couple kind of recreational coding. I teach a coding class. I should have mentioned that first. So at my school, I teach a coding class, but it's not text-based coding. It's block. You build it like Legos. I don't know what it's called. Snap. It's by Microsoft, and we don't build smart contracts, but we could have some pretty elaborate, you know, if-then statements that turn into games. Like we build a Pong game using these blocks. So my students are making now. We're doing Pong. Two people play each other in Pong. Yada yada yada. Here's your certificate, and that's that, right? But we could do simple animations. We're limited by like the graphics we could use and all that, but the idea is there. You get the logic and the structure. Once you do a couple of coding projects, you get like, oh, okay, so all the simple ones, I'm going to need this, and this to build it, right? Like when I did my Python class, I just use an if-then statement to make a calculator. It was like a gambling calculator. And what you would do is you would enter a Texas Hold'em, like your starting hand of 2 cards, the rank and the suit, and then the program would tell you, and then you would add your position at the table: early position, middle position, late position. I didn't put blinds. And the program would tell you, I think I had it in 6 categories, like where in the categories the hand, the strength, relative hand strength was based on your position at the table. Basically, it would tell you, yes, it's a good hand. No, it's a bad hand. It took me like a couple of days. So, yeah, AI, someone like me, let's say I get fired from my job because all I do is go on CoinGecko all day. Is there hope for me to use this AI to speed run to being at least an apprentice, dev? So that's that. Let's get to our main story here. Our main story is, I don't think it's funny. I don't know. I think it's funny that this is being attempted, trying to trash our celebrities. In the United States, we love our celebrities. We don't care about Ronaldo, really. In the United States, he's someone else's celebrity. We care about our celebrities are talented, right? And basically what's happening is these A-list celebrities that endorse any crypto project, whether it's a platform, an NFT, whatever, they're being targeted. And as you read this, you'll see it's the same lawyer group going after all of them in these individual class action lawsuits. And they're very proud of themselves, as you would imagine, because it's getting a lot of attention. Of course, it's getting a lot of attention. They're suing the celebrities for more money than banks have been fined for manipulating markets, right? So, and I don't think these are going anywhere. They're being fought by the celebrities, so they're just kind of dragging these poor people through hell, just basically like annoying them for months or years. And it's the same lawyers in these class action lawsuits. And they claim, in this case with Cristiano Ronaldo, he plays soccer. It's not called football, it's called soccer. And they're claiming that he made all kinds of money from these NFTs that sold for $77. He just made so much money promoting this. They were globally marketed, and he needs to be sued for $1 billion. He's getting sued for $1 billion. $1 billion. That's like, in American sports terms, that's like all the money like A-Rod and Derek Jeter made combined, like their gross earnings as baseball players. I don't know what that would be in football. You probably have to take like 5 football players to combine them to $1 billion. But among the list of the privileged celebrities who basically did their job, right? Marketing, that's all they could do basically besides play sports, unless they're super talented and they become sports broadcasters, right? So Mark Cuban, Tom Brady, Shaquille O'Neal, Larry David, who is he probably has $1 billion. Steph Curry. Actually, Shaquille O'Neal might be worth $1 billion. He probably doesn't have $1 billion. I bet you Larry David has $1 billion. Steph Curry, Naomi Osaka. Isn't she like 20 something? There's no way she would have this much money. So, $1 billion. What do you guys think? $1 billion? Like, I feel like 5 million would be a huge fine for marketing some NFTs. And the claims in the lawsuits is that their compensation to promote was taken directly from customers. That's the wording in the article, and that's a quote from someone representing the lawyers group or the lawyers themselves. Their compensation was taken directly from customers. See, with NFTs, I believe those are consumer products. If you buy it and it ends up being garbage, sucks for you. Sucks for you. Yeah, you're hitting the celebrities to get attention, and then you're saying, look, these lawsuits are gaining traction. They're not gaining traction. You're suing the celebrities for promoting, and then you're using them you're hurting them to use them to promote yourself and your team of lawyers, right? Like, it's kind of obvious. It's kind of obvious. But yeah, this is C. Edwards. Stymie the industry. Stymie the industry. Does anyone know what stymie means besides me and Edwards? So I don't want to use your real name, but we've met. I know your real name. But let's go to ETH. We went kind of deep into this with no ETH talk. I think it's a mistake to sleep on ETH. I mean, my God. But here's one of the accounts that I follow, Ethereum Daily. They just post news. They just post announcements. They post important data. And this is last week's on-chain data for the layer 2 solutions. They refer to this as the layer 2 war sometimes. And this is really cool. You get a visual of the on-chain data. This is volume. This is not token volume. This is volume on the layer 2. And they do have a dashboard. This is cool. We're not going to go to this, but this tweet is linked in the description. You could check it out, and you can go down here. But Arbitrum just killing it. Our good friend Don is starting to do some good content on Arbitrum. Might want to check him out. Optimism, OP. Base is Coinbase's layer 2. Making up words. My chat's usually good. ZK Sync, DYDX, Mantle, Immutable X, which is doing really well. And then the others. Starknet. Have some news on Starknet. I feel like Starknet sounds like a scam, but it's not, because it's, Tony Stark. But Starknet, they've announced a massive airdrop. Absolutely massive airdrop. They're trying to, jumpstart liquidity on their chain. So here you go. 1.8 billion, Stark tokens will be distributed. 900 million for provisions committee. Don't know what that is. 900 million for ETH fees that you have used. So it looks like they're going to reward people based on the gas fees they've generated. I mean, Ethereum is all about gas fees. I know people are like, oh, I don't like Ethereum. The gas is too high. Guess what? The gas is not too high for the people that use ETH. If your gas fee is $100, that means someone right before you was happy to pay 99. So you're going to get reimbursed with ETH gas fees. It looks like that you use, probably bridging over. I don't know how they're going to calculate that, or maybe the gas fees used on Stark network, and then some on-chain incentives for DeFi. So it looks like they'll bootstrap liquidity and just fire things up on Starknet. And you could see, I'll go back to the list. You can see they're lagging. Look, these are the top 10. There's probably going to be 100 of these by the time the next bull market's over. They're going to fight it out. I guess you want to get as close to the top. I mean, first mover advantage is huge. If you want a lesson on first mover advantage, look no further than Ethereum or Tron. Those are the top 2 DeFi ecosystems right now by TVL. First mover advantage. You can say what you want about the tech. It makes a ginormous difference. So, yeah, I think that's all I've got for ETH layer 2s. Oh yeah, I got lazy. I don't have notes on any of this. I'm just going to zip through the headlines. How about that? Here we go. So someone passed this over to me. I hope you hear that siren from outside. I live right by a fire department and a hospital and a police station. So all day, all night, there's just nothing but sirens, just all the time. So Bitcoin mining, yeah, I don't know what to make of this 100% yet. This was passed along to me, but the bottom line is the Middle East is going to eat the United States' lunch when it comes to crypto adoption, because there's more cooperation between authorities, big players, and the companies that are pushing crypto, Bitcoin forward. And this one here says Bitcoin miner Phoenix surges 50% after an IPO, 370 million IPO for mining, right? Miners could be unprofitable if market takes a turn for the worst. So this Phoenix group, they debuted trading on an exchange. Stock opened at 60 cents. And here we go. One of the Middle East first publicly listed industry firms. I have a feeling that all these big mining groups, they're going to be publicly listed. It's even in the United States, we've got some listings of, I have some crypto mining stocks, but of course mine aren't doing well, even though Bitcoin is doing well. Sucks to be me. But yeah, and this article goes into the IPO, and I have a tweet about this as well. This is someone who I follow, someone that I've talked to for a while and who I've had on my channel. He does a lot of research, just tweets out a lot of news and a lot of I would say pretty sober takes on the big picture, as he has the perspective of someone in traditional finance for over 20 years. And yeah, and crypto chemistry is correct. If the public market appetite is that strong, probably people are very educated and informed, and maybe the regulatory clarity is years ahead of the United States, right? And yes, he brings up something else. The renewable power angle, it is a good ingredient, and that's what I pick Bitcoin here, what he touches on, right? The headline is not the 500 billion in speculation by Qatar, it's the crypto mining firm itself. And here it says for the IPO, there was an oversubscription of 33 times, right? They sold 900 million shares, and around 95% of Phoenix's power comes from renewables, right? And it says here the UAE is among the most advanced jurisdictions when it comes to providing regulatory clarity about digital assets. That's the key. I almost don't care as an American how strict they are. I almost don't care. As long as it's clear and it's applied fairly. I think what you're seeing now is that the institutions don't like that retail beat them into the middle. They beat them into the pot. And they're to an extent, they're going to be exit liquidity for people that were mining Bitcoin in 2012, 2013, even earlier, right? So I think a lot of the FUD is FUD. We don't have regulatory clarity. We move at a snail's pace in the United States. I mean, it's just amazing. It's almost not safe to start a crypto company here in the United States, because you never know where the regulation is going to go. And that definitely affects adoption here in the Middle East. Not only renewables, which you almost wouldn't expect from the Middle East, but yeah, renewables being used to drive these mining companies. I think that's a positive. I think it will also put pressure on EU and United States as they finally give clarity. I mean, they're almost going to force the mining companies to turn to renewables. And then what? Is that going to get taxed? Like taxes are so high in Europe and the United States. And people in Europe and Canada, I have friends in Canada, friends in Australia. They think that in the United States we pay no taxes. Everyone just runs around like bacon is free. You shoot guns in the air. Like everyone has like a bald eagle flying around their house. I compare my paycheck to my friend from Canada. My income tax and all the taxes on my paycheck, they're higher. Business taxes are insane here. It's almost just not viable to start a small business in the United States. You need to kill it to just like have this like slim margins between the insurance, the licenses, the tax. Small businesses get choked out, right, in the United States. And you know, these crypto companies are startups. They're technically small businesses. I don't know. I think in the United States is not a good place to start one of these. If you do it, got to have some insights to what's going on, or your investors, your backers need look at that, crypto chem in the house, and there's me. There you go. See you Sunday. Yeah, outdated. I like myself. So, anyway, long story short, United States will lose in the short term. Just crypto adoption race. It's not going to be here. It's going to be Singapore, Hong Kong, Middle East. Who knows where else? Who knows where else? All right. Can't end without some ordinals news. It's just I think that the ordinals, just the protocol is enormous for Bitcoin and crypto in general. If Bitcoin is sustainable, I think it's huge for crypto. Of course, I can't make this fit, damn it. But here we go. Quick review on inscriptions. What is an inscription? It is one Satoshi. One Satoshi is 1/100 millionth of a Bitcoin. It's like a penny. And Bitcoin is like a $100,000 bill. I don't know if I have enough zeros in there, but you get the idea. One penny. If I have a whole bunch of pennies, I can have one $100,000 bill. If I have one Satoshi and I get a bunch more Satoshis, eventually I'll have one Bitcoin. So an inscription is one Satoshi that has data associated with it. It could be a picture, it could be music, it could be code, it could be a game, whatever. Not only does it get data associated with it, it gets a number. They're numbered sequentially from one. I think they're up to like 55 million right now. So there's like 55 million inscriptions, right? These cost money to make, right? Bitcoin's proof of work. There's energy. There's a cost to running the network. If people are spamming the network with these inscriptions, they pay for it. So long story short, one of the first inscriptions ever made, I think this was number 8. Yeah, inscription number 8. So one Satoshi sold for 10 Bitcoins. Just think about that. That would be like if I had one penny and I was able to do something to it to make it different from all the other pennies. And you gave me, whatever. This is 10 Bitcoin. So 10 $100,000 bills. I don't think the zeros. I think it's $1 million bill. But anyway, it's 9 zeros. 9 zeros. Somebody paid that. $450,000 for one Satoshi. What's one Satoshi cost? It's a lot less than a penny, right? It's a lot less than a penny. So, man, and this cost money to transact with on the network, right? The data, the file that's attached, I think it's a 4 megabyte max for an inscription, at least right now. It might be less, might be more in the future. That can be modified, but it costs money to move this. And inscription trading and minting of inscriptions, I don't know if they actually call it minting, but it's kind of like minting an NFT. Well, it generates tons of fees on the network. Tons of fees, tons of fees. So that is news. Even if you don't like inscriptions, you're a Bitcoin maxi, sucks to be you. Let's go to Cosmos before we wrap this up. And we've got here, I'm going to go in my own email box. So from Crypto Chemistry, who's in the chat right now, good, because he could let me know if I got anything wrong or missed anything. So let's try to get this to fit. Might not be able to get this to fit, but I subscribe. Have this informational newsletter, and here we go. They're covering fundraisers, and it says our friends at Babylon Protocol, take the cake, largest fundraise this week, $18 million. We composed a TLDR. Let me get this on the screen properly. I'm glad that you guys are here to read my emails with me. This is so great. Haven't stopped talking since this turned on. I need a partner, right? Give me like a 5-minute break here and there. Like, hey, why don't you take it away? Tell us about Babylon. Or hey, you're the layer 2 ETH expert. You talk for 5 minutes. I'll get rid of this. as I strip away all the bells and whistles here and go with this one. Ah, that's no good. It's no good. Go with this one. All right, there we go. There we go. Not my favorite, but it'll do. So here we go. So Babylon was founded January 2022, and they're an American company. And I actually interviewed one of the founders or the founder on my YouTube, David. I think this was like back in like April, May, something like that. If you're interested, you could search it up on my channel. And he was good at explaining how Babylon worked. But Babylon is basically going to use Bitcoin timestamps to secure proof of stake transactions. So the way he explained it to me, proof of stake is vulnerable to attacks in a way that proof of work, especially Bitcoin, is not. He claims Bitcoin is the most secure, or I believe he said proof of work is more secure than proof of stake. So with respect to specific types of attacks or exploits, Bitcoin can be used to leverage their own security to assist proof of stake, make proof of stake more secure, right? And has to do with the timestamps on the Bitcoin blocks, right? And they've implemented their idea in the form of an entire blockchain. So they have a Cosmos SDK based chain. It'll be in the ecosystem utilizing IBC. It'll be interoperable with all the other IBC chains. So you're talking Cosmos Hub, all the ICS chains, Stride, Neutron, Noble, which is Circle's chain within the Cosmos. You're talking what? Kujira, Injective, um, Kava. Well, maybe not Kava. Initial. I don't know how Kava's IBC works, but I'm missing some of the top IBC DeFi chains that do heavy volume. Axelar. Is Thorchain connected by IBC? I'm not sure. Is Binance Smart Chain connected? I don't know if they are yet, but I thought I saw something about. So, long story short, Babylon can be used to further secure this massive network of chains that's in the Cosmos. My first question would be, does this compete with interchain security? I don't know. Does it minimize the appeal of interchain security? I don't know. I don't know. But it gives another option where it makes sense. I'm not sure if transactions must be routed through Babylon or if maybe Babylon will have an app running on the different chains eventually. That much I don't know. But look, it's a layer one token, a layer one chain. It'll have to have its own token, it looks like, to secure itself. And then it's going to utilize Bitcoin timestamps, right? So Bitcoin's market cap is by far the biggest market cap, 865 billion at the time of writing. Um, if we have another bull run, I'm sure that it's going to do multiples of that, 2, 3, 4 billion, somewhere in there would be my guess, conservative guess. And it says Babylon's modular nature allows it to be used on top of all these BFT Cosmos consensus protocols, right? Tendermint, without altering the base protocol. So it looks like it's gonna be something that gets added to the individual chains, will route transactions back to Babylon, something like that. Not sure, but it's going to communicate, and I guess using IBC, right? This article goes on to talk about risks, some key takeaways, a little bit more about the other fundraisers involving Babylon. Hey, maybe Kem can give me the link directly to this. See, I subscribe to this, so I get this to my email. If he can get me the link tomorrow, I'll put it in the description as well. I'll put it in the description. But yeah, that's Babylon. So we got some people in the chat. We'll bring in the chat. But first thing, I have a question here. biggest Cosmos holding. Or if you're not a Cosmos ecosystem person, your biggest holding right now in your portfolio. I'm going to do some housekeeping here, and I'm going to get my portfolio up here. This is the fun part. It's a fun part. How's it been so far? Always have trouble with these, and this one seems to be going really smooth. Other than not having ice. I don't have ice in my house. I don't know if I told you guys that. I don't have ice in my house. I don't waste freezer space on ice. I would like to have some now. But I have all meat in my freezer. I have no ice. This is like basically room temp ginger ale right now. All right, so 10K challenge. A lot of people do this, right? They want to make some picks, see how it does over a certain amount of time. So my 10K challenge, I didn't want to pick the same tokens as everybody else. So I did a 10K challenge of tokens that are, I call them Cosmos adjacent. So they're Cosmos ecosystem chains that I don't consider to be core OG Cosmos people behind them. I may have inadvertently picked some tokens that do fit that description, but let's say they're not they're Cosmos chains that promote themselves more than promote Cosmos as a whole. Like they dissociate themselves, if that makes sense. So I'll bring that up here. In the meantime, you could let me know. You could let me know what tokens you have. I don't know how this is even going to fit on the screen with the chat, but I'll get rid of the chat if there's not many people willing to share their holdings. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to have the chat. Sunday morning people are chatty. Monday night people are just like probably multitasking, right? Got some people here. Yeah, if you guys weren't watching this right now, I would literally go into my class to pull these out, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'll get rid of the chat. Any comments that come up, I could bring it to the bottom of the screen. So here we go. Let's get this. Man, this is so bad. See, the biggest weakness of Restream is I can't make this bigger. I can't make this bigger. Like, these are my options. This is not good. It's not good. I could get this on the screen. There we go. All right, here we go. So here are my picks, and I'll rationalize these. I challenged Reese. I challenged Dark Side of the Podcast. Anybody, come up with any 10. It doesn't have to be Cosmos themed. It could be all ETH, ERC20 tokens. That'd be a really cool portfolio to put together. For 2024, you're allowed to make one rebalance a month, something like that. And you'll see I do have a stable coin in here. So here's my starting portfolio, right? I've got, and what order is this in? I bought in increments of 500, I think. It's 10K. Yeah, 500. So I either bought 1,000 or 1,500 worth of the token, and I kept 15% in Silk. So if I bought you, you're at least 10% of the portfolio. And I started with Shade. So Shade's on Secret Network. It's kind of a Cosmos chain, right? It's kind of but it's kind of its own thing. And I want the DeFi token exposure in my portfolio. Just DeFi token. Shade is a DeFi suite, right? They got, bonds, it's a DEX, derivatives, all that, lending, right? Well, bonds. So for Shade, I started with 10% of the portfolio is Shade. And you can see it has some profit and loss, but that's only because I did this a few days ago. is the total amount. I'm down already. Maybe I'll reset this and I'll start I'll start again, make it 10,000 even, but started with Shade. I wanted a DeFi token. So I want to hit as many areas as possible. All right. And also I consider Shade a small micro cap token. It's like 8 million market cap, something like that. 8 million market cap, 9 million market cap, something like that. So I have some small, some medium, some large cap tokens. Oh, look, yeah, market cap's right there. It's 6 million. 6 million. There it is. 6 million. Next is Unstake. This is an interesting protocol and it's brand new because I want some hype in my portfolio also. I want some hype. And this is brand new. I think it just launched. I think they just went live today. And I bought the token before it even went live. Not Bright, but it's called Unstake, aka this is Nutsack token. So I've also hit memes in my portfolio, memes, hype, and also this is a working protocol that will allow you to unstake tokens faster than what's typically allowed in the ecosystem is typically like a 14-21 day unbond period. Unstake also gives me exposure to Kajira, which I don't consider to be a Cosmos chain, although it is a Cosmos SDK chain. I consider it to be outside of the core Cosmos club, let's call it. Right? It's not I mean Kujira, if Juno wasn't a complete implosion, Kujira and Juno would be very close competitors, right? So I touched a lot of bases with my first two picks. I got two small caps. I might consider them micro caps. Like, what would you consider a micro cap? I'm curious. Large caps over 10 billion. Yeah, these are micro caps. I would, micro cap under 100 million, under 50 million at least. So that's that. Astroport. So Astroport is part of Cosmos directly, right? It's on Neutron, which is a consumer chain for Cosmos, but I wanted exposure to Terra, which really did not associate itself or didn't do a good job of associating itself with Cosmos. Remember, I want Cosmos, the peripheral. I want the tech, right? I want the tech without trying to latch onto the hub for relevance, right? So Astroport. And of course, I hate DEX tokens. I think DEX tokens are trash, right? They're the worst. They're the worst. They're the worst. But Astroport's a consumer chain on a consumer chain. Yes, it's on Terra. It's on Injective. So I'm getting exposure to Injective as well. I'm getting exposure to Terra, right? These are peripheral Cosmos SDK chains, and obviously they enable IBC. I think for a DEX token, this is my opinion. This is not financial advice. This token has way more room to run than Osmosis, like way more. I don't see a scenario where Osmosis does a 10x and Astroport does a 4. I don't see a scenario where that's happening. So I did buy it. I did buy these first three. I do own. And I think I got good prices. And I bought Astroport like a week and a half ago, Unstake like a week ago, Shade here and there over the last year. So those are my first three. Now we go to Thorchain. I consider Thorchain to be infrastructure, right? Infrastructure, Bitcoin, Ethereum exposure. I probably could have made a third of my portfolio Thorchain, but it's 15%. Is a large cap or medium to large cap, right? It's 2 billion market cap. And I like Bitcoin in my portfolio. This is my exposure to Bitcoin. Like I said, I met the founder. I don't own Rune. Actually, this is just in my hypothetical portfolio here. But yeah, that's my rationale. Infrastructure, Bitcoin, atomic swaps. I love. I knew about atomic swaps in like 2017 when I didn't know anything. And Thorchain's the closest thing to that. Polygon. Polygon is a Cosmos SDK chain. I don't have to say anything about Polygon. ETH, layer 2. Don't know if it's the best scaling solution for Ethereum, but I don't care. It's a Cosmos chain. It gives me some exposure there. And Polygon gives me NFT exposure. So there you go. They're decent with NFTs. I think they're like maybe like fourth in NFT volume day to day, week to week recently. So Polygon gives me NFT volume. Silk, it's my stable coin. I will deploy it at some point. I don't need to say anything else. Kava, EVM. So I've been looking into Kava lately. I'm trying to get tokens over there, but it's hard to. Being in the United States, there's some apps that bridge over in like the simplest way possible that I can't use. I tried to use Squid Router and it did work, but it reverted my transaction to USDC, which doesn't help me because I still can't pay gas on Kava. But long story short, Kava has a lot of liquidity, a lot. USDT is promising Kava several $100 million in liquidity. I want exposure to that. I have exposure here to multiple stable coins, by the way, right? Kujira is USK, Astroport, all the typical Cosmos ones, Axelar, USDC, native USDC. I have Silk. Polygon is the ETH, the ERC20 ones, and then Kava gives me USDT. So I'm getting exposure to lots of different things. I didn't really think this out beyond, let me hit as many things as I can. Brings me to my last one, my last pick. Fetch AI. I think I talked about it last week. No idea if they have a consumer product or not, but AI is in the name. I want exposure to AI. That's it. That's the only reason why I picked it. I don't even know how much I put. Is it 10%, 15%? It's 10%. How can I really hurt myself? So the only ones that were 15% were Astroport, Astro, Rune, Matic, and Silk. Am I missing like a mega cap for this? Yeah, I'm probably missing that. Are there many to choose from? No, there aren't. Unless I just took Bitcoin, right? Like non-BTC. I don't know. But here by market cap, Matic is close to a large cap. I guess it's a large cap. Like, I mean, $7 billion is a lot in crypto. It's top 15. It's like top 12 if you take out stable coins and meme coins. So that's my portfolio by market cap. And I'll deploy the Silk somewhere in case I forget something. I saved some stable coins, or I might just keep the stable coins. But I'm going to roll with this for the next several weeks. If any other Cosmos tokens come on my radar, I'm going to allow myself one rebalancing a month for the next year, right? So let's say something depegs that month, I'm allowed to rebalance, maybe like 2 transactions, something like that. I'm not day trading this portfolio. Or let's say Astroport does a 10x and now it's my number one. I don't really want a DEX token as my number one, so I would rebalance that. So there you go. I won't do any transactions till January. I'll somehow stay on top of it. But yeah, challenging everyone. Scott, let me see what you got. Reese, whoever else. Reese actually made it his portfolio in like 5 seconds. He was like, yeah, injective, this. And I think I'm going to win. But that's it. That's it for my stream. Appreciate everyone in the chat. You can let me know if this is better on Sunday, Monday, whatever. I think it's better Sunday morning, but I had to do it Monday night because just wasn't feeling so good. Stomach virus. Wouldn't be a good look to be vomiting on camera. So anyway, have a good one. Great week. And see